Okay, everybody. We had to cut short on our other video because I tried to do a Swifty and get 2 hours, but for some reason, they would only give me a certain amount of time or upgrade, and I don't feel like upgrading, to be perfectly honest. I've
No,
never
not
been
for
one.
what? No.
I've never been one for following or um, I'm more buck the system and get whatever I can. So
No, you'll get numbers to kill you 40 minutes.
okay. Now, in reference to what you were saying in the part one of the video, um, I mentioned, or you mentioned about, the people coming over the border and they're the spiritual war that's going on. They're trying to down the vibration of America. Well, I've noticed that this sort of thing's been going on worldwide for, well, as we've said privately, for thousands of years. They're trying to displace millions of people all over the globe. And I say globe because it is a globe. Okay. It might look flat, but it's not. Anyway, that's enough of that. But what I will say, what I will say is they've been displacing people with wars, with weather modification,
Mhm.
and if you haven't noticed here in Australia, the chemtrail spraying all over the country and the floods and the weather patterns, if you're not actually waking up to this nonsense right now, seriously, you need to get your head out of the TV and out of your phones because seriously, folks, they are bringing your vibration down big time. And on Australia, I will also say that not only do we have an influx of many, many migrants, and look, I don't have a problem with it personally because a lot of them are good people, but there's always the ones that come in and destroy. But I work with a diverse workforce and we get on fantastic. But they've had to move because of wars and things like that. And why have they been displaced? Well, I'll let you get into that, but I'm pretty sure we all know what's going on there. Now, the last time that, uh, well, actually, before I get into that, I mentioned to you privately about um, Donald Trump when he wants to run for the next election in America and how in 2 states they've tried to stop him being on the ballot. Well, the last time that they tried this in America, it landed in civil war. Now, as William alluded to in the previous video, just think about that. If they're trying to lower your vibration, do they give a rat's razoo whether Biden gets in or whether Hillary gets in or Obama gets in or Bush grandsons gets in or whatever? Whoever it is, do they give a shit? No, they don't. Because if they have civil war, what have they done? What have they done, folks? Come on, think about it. They've lowered your vibration. They want you to fight the system with riots, wars, protests, you name it. They want you to do the damn lot. So, how do we raise the vibration, William? That's what people have to work out. How do we raise the vibration and still fight this war? You see, we all get angry at what they're doing in the sky, poisoning our skies, our water supplies, our food, corrupt politicians. Look, we all moan and groan about it. But what's anybody doing about it? Besides protesting, what's that doing, guys? You're being rounded up like sheep. Or as a lot of people in Canberra found out, they used their bioweapons against you, directed energy weapons against you. And you all came away sick or injured. And you said, what the hell's going on here? They were testing it out, folks, because when you do rebel and you fight against the system, they're going to get you one way or another. And they'll lower your vibration. So we need to raise the vibration. I need a drink, William. I'm a bit thirsty.
That was a long bit of spiel there, all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the last time America tried to stop a president running in an election, it ended up in a civil war.
Yep.
Abraham Lincoln. So if they get you in a civil war in America, and if they get us in a civil war,
mission accomplished.
and if they get a civil war in Europe against the mass migration in Europe and the mass migration here in Southeast Asia, mate, they got you covered one way or another. They got you covered. Not good.
Now, sorry, I finished?
Yeah.
Because you got my own memory box ticking over there, because I didn't mention the Middle East war, but the Israelis and the Palestinians.
Yeah.
Jesus, you'd have to really starting it up now. Remember the Israelis, they follow the Old Testament, which is translated from the Hebrew, which is probably mistranslated from the Armenian, not the Armenian, oh crikey, the name come something like Armenian. What was the name? Sorry, but the original translation, by the way, pre-Hebrew, never mentioned the word God. God wasn't mentioned once in it. Did you know that? But somehow God was managed to be slipped in there. Managed to slip it in. God. They slipped it in wherever they choose. They rearranged everything to suit themselves. God is not mentioned. And it was only when they printed the James Bible in the 1700s, was it in the 1700s in the English version, that the name of Jesus was the first time Jesus was ever mentioned. It was never, that name was never mentioned prior to that. Jesus begins with a J. There is no J in the Hebrew language. There are only 22 letters in Hebrew against 26 in the English calendar, in the English vocabulary. So they had 4 letters to play around with. They introduced all sorts of things with these 4 letters. They got up to first mischief with these 4 letters. They put them in whatever and changed everything they wanted with these letters. This is where they inserted J and called him Jesus. That's the first time it was ever mentioned. It was in the 1700s.
What about Yahweh? What about Yahweh? Was that mentioned as well?
Yahweh is mentioned in the Old Bible. That name is mentioned, and he's a bastard reptilian.
But was that a J?
What?
Was the Yahweh, was that a J or a Y?
Why?
Sorry.
So that's who the Israelis are fighting for. That's who
the reptilian.
Oh, there's another thing about Yahweh. You know that he was the one who introduced circumcision to prove, to make. He wanted to brand his what he called his people, his tribe, which he was given by his boss. He was given Israel, the tribe of Israel, by, I think his Elyon was his name. That was his boss. And I think there was about 18 to 20 reptilians going at the time, and each one got a certain part of the world, of the globe. And Yahweh wound up with the Israelis, which he didn't want. He didn't want the Israelis at all, because they had nothing, they had no word. So he has no value in human life. If we look at the Bible, it's all there. Sacrifice your son. Do you imagine your father asking you to sacrifice one of your children? Could you imagine him doing that? I don't think that doesn't even, couldn't even entertain the thought. But yeah, he wants you to sacrifice his only son, Abraham. Abraham was another follower of his. So was Moses, by the way. They all followed the different versions. And Yahweh demanded that his people, the Israelites, back thousands of years, to attack the nearest one to them, which was governed by another reptilian. So he said, attack them, wipe them out. If they don't follow us, follow me, wipe them out completely and take over everything that they had. That's him. But he wanted to brand people like cattle. And how did he do it? Circumcision. That means you're loyal to him. You belong to him. That's where circumcision came from. That bastard. And still they do it, even though they may or may not know who he is. But I'm telling you now who he was, or who he was. So these Anunnaki, they have a lot to answer for. And the idea that there's a good one up in the Nibiru ship, the Nibiru, yeah. I don't think that was where she was. Ellen and the Nan says she was up in that ship a few times talking to Enki. I don't know where she was, but I thought she's very much up in Nibiru talking to Enki. They're also very good shapeshifters.
So what does that say about her if she's up there talking to them?
Hey, I leave it up to you.
Yeah.
She says she's one of them.
Yeah.
Leave it as it is.
Leave it as it is, yeah.
So
I think
that was the Israeli war. And who were fighting? They're fighting the Palestinians, mainly Hamas, but they're fighting the another religious, the Muslims. Yeah, they're fighting Muslims, but Muslims and the Israelis worship the same God.
Wow. Once again, lowering the vibration.
Sorry?
Once again, lowering the vibration.
Every war lowers vibrations, but it also gives off an awful lot of loot. You know, they're feeding off of all the death and suffering that's going on, and fear that's going on. They're loving it. They're absolutely loving it. This is great. Oh, the amount of feeding that's going on there. It's a feeding frenzy.
But since World War II, which has been a long time, you know, I mean, obviously we've still got major conflicts, but since World War II, there has been a huge shift in the world's consciousness. And whilst many are waking up, they're still not getting the big picture because, yes, they're getting bits and pieces in different areas, but it's all about the consciousness rising and being aware that all this stuff's going on. But if we react the way they want us to react, then we're not going to ascend. And that's not what we're here for. We're here to run with ascension by lifting and helping others to lift the consciousness and the vibration of the planet.
Let me ask a general question. Well, I throw it out to everybody.
Yeah.
How do you know your vibrations have gone up? How can you tell? I know a lot of people say, well, my vibrations have gone up. How do you know? I hope they're right, but tell me how you know that. I'm not asking you, Denver, but I'm throwing it out there. How do people know that their vibrations are up there?
Okay, well, use me as a guinea pig. Okay. Now I know why you want to be on the video. Okay. As a guinea pig, look, there are moments in my life where the first thing I want to do is react. And I want to get angry. And I want to get revenge. But that was the old Dermot. And I recognize that. The minute it comes in, I recognize it. And I say, consciously, I'm saying, stop. Stop. I know internally it's wrong. So I internalize it and I say to myself, okay, this is not going to go anywhere. So I acknowledge that this is here to test me. And I'm going to pass the test, because the more I get angry and try to get revenge, no, it's not raising the vibration. So if I try to forgive that person and be grateful for the lesson learned, the more times I'm consciously aware of actually doing that, the better off I am, and the higher my vibration goes.
How do you know that, Dermot? How do you know that?
Because I'm consciously aware that every time it happens, I know straight. It's like intuition. I know, okay, I have to stop it. There are moments, believe me, there are moments I do get angry, but instead of it being, like a 10-minute rant or something like that, it will be 10 seconds to the point where I say, whoops, take a deep breath, calm down, and you feel it in your body. Well, I do anyway. And I suppose it's, if you're feeling it in your body and you know you're going up and down. I mean, we're not 80% water in our bodies. You can feel it in the water. It's either boiling, or you can change the temperature and lower it down. I don't know. How do you know? Other than feeling it, I don't know what else to say, to be perfectly honest.
I wonder how many other people feel as you do. I mean, it's an honest question, and I wonder about how if you look at the videos, all the videos that are out there, and people certainly say, well, we're going to ascend very soon, and let's get into it. And I know bloody well they're not going anywhere. Yeah. I know that they won't be going anywhere. I try to warn people, be very careful who you look at, who you follow. Remember, this is a spiritual war you're in. Whether you realize it or not before, you know now you're in a spiritual war, an actual war with evil. It's actually, so you need to act your part. You need to get your vibrations up. Choose your sides. Let me put it that way. Choose your sides. Which one do you want to go with? Do you want to go up or do you want to go down? Choice is yours.
Okay, so if you've chosen the side and you do get angry, have you failed, or are you just going through the emotions of the whole process?
As you do, as soon as you recognize it, you stop it. You feel yourself getting angry, go and do something else. Think about something else. Stop
Yeah.
it. Change your thoughts.
Yeah.
Don't go where anger, because where anger is, fear is.
Yeah.
Funny enough, as you were speaking there a while ago, I recall a conversation I had with my father. And don't ask me what it was about. But somewhere in the conversation, I must have said something to him. And he says, all there is and all that I am is love. I am nothing else. All I am is love. So I said, oh, yeah, yeah, I know. That, if you can remember that all there is love. Anything that's outside of that can be changed.
Yeah.
There was there is a saying is, what was it? Nothing that can, hang on, I'll have to bring that up with her. Nothing. I can read it out to you in a second. I just can't bring it to my mind. Yeah. And it's this. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Nothing real can be threatened. What's the one thing that is real? The only thing that is real is what? Love. That is the only thing. Nothing unreal exists. You get that part? Nothing unreal. So anything that is not of love doesn't exist. Therein lies the peace of God. That's from A Course in Miracles. If I could make a suggestion to people, I spoke about different books in the videos. And what I found to be a very, very good grounding and grinding is if you're led to certain books. My first book was the Law of One, was it? Yeah, it was the Law of One. Then it was followed by the Course in Miracles, which was followed by the Transylvanian books, which was followed by one or two others. But the two most important books is the Law of One and the Course in Miracles. I've posted some posts from the Voyager books up there in my Facebook page, and I put little excerpts in there. And when I started discovering that the Voyager books is all based around the Law of One, and they are very, very in-depth books. But what Ashiana Dean was saying, as she's in communication constantly with all different type of beings, but they all follow the Law of One. Even out there, they follow the Law of One. If you don't follow the Law of One, they don't want to know you. You're not with them.
Okay, you just
sorry.
You just said about Elena following the Law of One. Is that right?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's Ashiana Dean in the Voyager books.
Oh, okay. Right.
And they speak about what's happening with the earth and what has happening to the earth and why it's happening, and the wars in space, the thousands of years war,
Yeah.
and the fallen angels. Okay, now, I have big difficulty with that word, as you will, fallen angels, because to me,
Angels don't fall. Angels don't fall. They've already ascended.
Well, they haven't already ascended. They already are. They are already up there. They were created to be up there.
Yeah.
But I notice there's a certain tack coming in now where they're saying angels are not good. Your free meeting will end in 10 minutes. But anyway, so yeah, but I would say to the people, get the Course in Miracles if you're attracted to it, and the Law of One. I don't mean just glance at it and read it and put it away. You've got to come back to it and come back to it and come back to it. And same with the Law of One. You've got you're two heavy books, but you've got to get the essence of it. And then once you get the essence and you start living your life like the Law of One, because you'll walk in that, what is it, atmosphere of vibration. You pick it up. You pick up the Course in Miracles is supposed to be have been given by Jesus or Yeshua. That's where that, because there is no author to the Course in Miracles. It doesn't have an author or a person who wrote it. This was all handed down by Yeshua. But it is a thick book, admittedly, and so is the Law of One. But I would recommend people to go and have a look at that and see, is it for them? And that will certainly raise your vibrations up if you start living as per the Law of One and the Course in Miracles. Absolutely, it'll raise your vibrations.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. And
you don't want to hear that now, Dermot.
Well, you say that. You say that. A very good friend of mine actually gave me a Course in Miracles.
Yeah?
And yes.
Wonder why.
And I did start to read it and I did start to live it, but it is very heavy reading. And the last few years have been very busy. But I suppose as I head towards retirement, I'll probably have more time to read, and I'm looking forward to that. I really am, because yeah,
I wouldn't hang around too long, Dermot. Because everyone knows what's coming
yes, I
from the
know.
pipeline. Yeah.
Look, they're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at us right now, and it's obvious with the weather patterns, the wars, the vibration, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But while I'm still here living this 3D reality, I'm still making plans like I would normally do, but who knows? Who knows? We've already had our soul contracts made, and we've already decided where we're going, and we're just acting out the parts, I guess. So
but yeah, by the way, before it goes out of my mind, because I meant to bring it up in the Israeli thing that time. It said that Muhammad got his messages and instructions from an angel called Gabriel. Do you think for 1 minute that I would give him those instructions in how to treat women and the way to treat them and the way they're treating their women? Do you think I would give instructions like that?
no.
Cover your faces. You're only a second class. You shouldn't even be seen or heard. You don't treat women like that. You think I give instructions like that? nah, they're a way off course. Sorry now to all the Muslims, but I would not give instructions like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you remembered that, because that's a very, very good point.
So remember, Yahweh equals reptilian, which is the same as the Muslim. Their guy, that they're actually, the guy who actually gave him the instructions is from Yahweh.
Wow.
They're two sides of the same coin, Israel and Muslim.
Well, we don't have a lot of time left, but just very briefly, are the truths actually going to come out next year?
Or the what?
Are the
The truth.
truths, are the truths going to come out next year? I mean, they're throwing the kitchen sink at us, but there's also, other things going on in the background, where they're exposing certain people for one thing or another. But is it going to come to fruition?
Will people accept it? Will people recognize it?
Well, that's the question. I mean, it's been out there, but will people recognize it? No, I don't think they will.
I mean, there's still people still back Biden and voted for him. I can't understand the people voting for him. But right now, they're saying, "Oh, we need to block Donald Trump from doing this." They don't give a crap.
Yeah,
they're doing what's needed now to bring everything down.
Yeah,
They don't give a crap about the election. If they win it, so much the better.
Yeah,
but they don't. They're not really bothered.
Because they've done the dirty work all over the globe, haven't they? They've done their dirty work all over the globe.
They are doing their dirty work all over the globe.
And on that, all the psyops that they've been putting out. I mean, why is there such a surge in that theory, lately? I mean, come on. Yeah.
So my main emphasis again is what you're witnessing is evil at work. You're witnessing evil in its purest form. There is a battle going on up there, and it's been going on a long time for this planet between the good and the evil. And the Anunnaki seem to come in and change sides like the weather. 1 minute they're on this side, the next minute they're on that side, but they're always up to no good. Always up to no good.
And that child sacrificing.
Sorry?
And that child sacrificing all over the world.
Yeah.
That is pure evil.
That's to do with Yahweh.
Yeah.
Because he requested that. That's he demanded it. Whatever it is that comes off of the offering and the smell of the smoke and all that, that gives them an almighty high.
Yeah.
It gives them an almighty high. They love sacrifices. They love sacrifice. And the more people that start dying in fear, the better they feed off of it.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered it now with the 2 videos. So, I don't think there's any more we can do at this point in time, but we will.
No. I wish everybody in America good luck. At least those of you listening are aware of what's happening now, that you are fighting evil in its worst form. You can't see the evil. You can't see who's pulling the strings. But it's the darkness that is pulling the strings. It's the darkness. That's who you're fighting, the darkness. Okay. That's it, Dermot.
It is. And thank you for watching once again. So,
and that's all the points covered on my list, by the way.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens in the future, and if anything important comes up,
We'll be there.
come back on. Okay,
Goodbye.
goodbye, and thank you.